lights are green. How are we looking on AV?
Good.
All right, the clock struck 30. If we could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Good evening to everybody in chambers, as well as to those that are tuning in via our broadcast for the City Council meeting of Monday, December 9th. Katie, I'd like to pass to you to call roll.
Schumate?
Here.
Cox?
Here.
Cosmore? McNabb?
Yes.
Molnar.
Here.
Valentine?
Here.
Wood? Here.
We would need a motion to excuse absent member Councilwoman Cosmore.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Molnar.
Second.
Second by Valentine. Any discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Molnar.
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
With excused absent member, that will bring us to our approval of agenda this evening. At this time, I'd like to request that council makes a motion to add one item to our communications section of the agenda. That item is going to be the resignation email received from Councilwoman Cosmore. So we're looking for a motion to add that to our communications.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Molnar. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Any discussion? Katie, please call roll.
McNabb?
Yes.
Molnar.
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Motion carried. And now we have an approved agenda with that addition under communications. And with that, we would love to open up to public comment. If there's any members of public that would wish to address council, please approach the podium and be sure to state your name and address. And make sure that light is green for me.
It is. Rick Sheardown, 5705 Wilson. Okay, we seem to have a problem with a lot of employees taking money, and no one's been held accountable for this. The department heads have to know about this, and evidently they're complicit with it, making them just as guilty. We have some council members that are trying to fix it, and it seems like the mayor is fighting them. Where's the transparency? I guess that's it.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment this evening? All right. That will close our public comment, and that will bring us to our consent agenda. Council, in your packet, you have items A through E. Item A, bills reference number 11A and 11B. Item B, payroll number 922 and 923. Item C, city council minutes of 11/25/2024. Item D, beautification commission minutes of 12/2/2024. And item E, recreation commission minutes of 12/3/2024. Looking for a motion to approve consent agenda items A through E.
Motion to approve items A through E.
Motion by McNabb. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Valentine. Any discussion on consent agenda? Katie, please call roll.
McNabb?
Yes.
Molnar.
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Abstain.
Cox?
Yes.
All right, motion carried. Next item is going to be communications. Under communications, we now have one addition to that item, which would be resignation from Councilwoman Cosmore. I'd like to look for a motion to receive and file the resignation from Councilwoman Cosmore, for which the effective date was expressed as December 5th, 2024.
Motion to receive and file?
Is there a second?
Second.
That'll open us up for discussion. I just want to lead by stating a tremendous warm heart and full heart goes out to Councilwoman Cosmore and her mother and her broader family. Family is definitely first, and I'm really grateful that Councilwoman Cosmore is prioritizing her presence with her family. I also want to say just a tremendous thanks to Councilwoman Cosmore, who has done a tremendous amount for this community, not only as her service as a council member, but more broadly, a tremendous amount of work with our school district and sitting on the school board. Tremendous friend and neighbor to our community, and somebody who is obviously, as reflected at our council meetings, gone above and beyond, whether it's Kiwanis and the collaboration with Rotary, or her roles at the Alliance Downriver Watershed, as well as 33rd District Court. So I just want to express my love and thoughts for her and her family and her mother, especially at this time. My gratitude for her service for the community, and I'm just glad she's focused on where she needs to be right now. But I'll open up to council for any further discussion you'd like to have.
Yeah, I second your comments there, Mr. Mayor. I had the pleasure to sit next to Marcia, and just very calm presence, and I appreciate her guidance. She had been on council for a number of years before. You mentioned that she had been on the school board for a number of years, and she had a very calming sense, and she's now bringing that sense to her family to take care of the stuff that's number one priority, and we are going to miss her. The only thing that I think we might want to consider is accepting that letter of resignation with regrets. So if we
Absolutely.
if everybody's interested, if we could entertain
I'd
restating.
like to amend my motion.
Amend the motion.
Absolutely.
Second.
A proposed amendment to the motion, and we have a second.
Yes. Second.
But yeah, I appreciate her servitude, and I appreciate talking to her at the meetings and afterwards, and hope that she's able to spend the appropriate time with her family and do what she needs to do to take care of them. She mentioned that she would be available in the future for committees and to try and stay involved and allow her servitude to continue, and I hope we consider that when that time does come, if she's able.
Absolutely. Last thing I'll say is that the focus today is on Councilwoman Cosmore and her family, and obviously all the words that have been expressed. Council, just as we look forward beyond today, the charter states that there's a 45-day window that opens up for which council must use that 45-day window to consider and carry forward an appointment to replace Councilwoman Cosmore through the duration up until the next election, for which then the public would elect that next seat. With that being said, my thought process for you to just think about as we discuss this at future meetings would be, number one, for council to consider any nominations or recommendations you may have that should be considered by your peers for that seat. And then number two, for any members of public that have an interest in serving the city of Gibraltar as a council member, to consider sending a letter of interest to Katie, our city clerk. Katie's email can be found on our website for those that don't have it already. But it's important that we can consider any other qualified individuals that want to serve their community. Given the 45-day window and some time to do this right, not rushed, I recommend that we consider targeting that appointment for our January 13th meeting, which would mean that we'd need any nominations or letters of intent from our public to be submitted by January 8th, which would allow that to then go into the packet for council's consideration on the 13th. So again, Councilwoman Cosmore, thank you so much for your service to the community. We're thinking about you and sending love to you, your mother, and your family. And I think that's been echoed by all council, and council, just for you to start thinking about the process ahead of us for future discussion. Any further discussion on that item?
And I was just gonna say that I had somebody that was interested in that position, so all I have to do is just make sure that he has a letter sent to you.
To our clerk, yeah, I think we should just put any interest, nomination by council or any other member of public to our clerk so that she can gather that information, and then we can make sure council has that for review.
Okay.
Any other discussion on that item? All right, Katie, please call roll.
Mulner?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Great. Next item on our agenda is going to be my report this evening. Before I get to Department of Public Safety update, I know we've already stated this many times, but I just want to say how much I appreciated and how special I felt our holiday festivities were, including the parade, Santa's presence, and the tree lighting, and all the amazing festivities that our community and the younger generations got to participate in. Thank you to all those that made that happen. There's a laundry list that it took to make that possible, so I just want to extend my gratitude again for all the work that went into making all that possible, and for all of our residents who came out to have a great time together. With the Department of Public Safety update, Council, in your packet, we had provided some information for your review in advance of today's meeting. Just to make sure that everybody understands kind of where we're at today, we had discussed at our last council meeting the importance of making sure that we accommodate the union contracts we have, both for command and patrol. And within those contracts, as you may recall, our officers need to schedule their shifts for 2025. And in that contract, that requires us to abide by the 30-day notice as it relates to the scheduling of said shifts. With that being said, council had asked our Department of Public Safety and our unions to, via a resolution, allow us more time to ensure we could review the options we have for our Department of Public Safety structure and to allow that to meet the needs of our contract with the unions. With that being said, we took some time, just kind of give you the summary of what we've done so far and what you should be considering today. Number one is we laid out the different structural options for our Department of Public Safety. Option one, there will be 4 options I'll review, and these will be in no particular order of priority. Option one is for council to consider Director of Public Safety being Bullard, making our School Resource Officer Trush lieutenant and remaining in the School Resource Officer position, making our new detective Gary Robinson, making our School Resource Officer Seifert remain in the SRO position until the end of the school year in 2025, and have a sergeant promotion, which would relate to the road coverage, and then transition that School Resource Officer position for Seifert to Sampson, pending all the appropriate process, and again, after the close of the school year in 2025. In line with that proposed structural consideration, shadowing and training would take place across the SRO, Seifert, and Sampson. So that's option one. Option two was to consider the Director of Public Safety as Director Trush. Bullard would then return to his detective position. Seifert would remain as an SRO with the sergeant promotion consideration, as I previously highlighted. And Robinson would return to his existing role capacity. He's been helping cover detective responsibilities, and I want to thank Robinson for that. Option three would be to consider the hiring of an outside Director of Public Safety. And option four was any other options or considerations that council may have. So I wanted to start with that, options for consideration. Again, the need is that we need to make sure our Department of Public Safety is structured for success and has the right command structure and patrol coverage. We have a time-sensitive need to make sure that those shifts are scheduled for the 2025 calendar year, and those 4 structural options were shared with council. Supplemental to those options, we felt it was imperative to have a meeting with our Gibraltar School District, as the options obviously relate to our school resource officers that service our school district. We want to make sure we could sit down with our superintendent and the principals to get their perspective on the different options and structural considerations. And I shared a summary of those notes. At a high level, they're incredibly pleased with our current SRO partnership. They discussed some of the operational considerations for our schools, and they provided some feedback on the options in your packet. With that being said, there's also the grant for the SRO funding, and we have a plan in place to ensure that that grant continues, or when the grant does expire, that whether there's another grant or whether there's funding across the school district / City of Gibraltar, that we will make sure that that is a prioritized funding allocation. So with that being said, I wanted to lay all those out. We did have a discussion with our city attorney, which was commented in your packet. We made sure that Amy, our finance director, could kind of consider some of the financial considerations of these different processes. And then, obviously, very important, had discussions and made sure that we had the perspective of our Director of Public Safety, as well as the personnel in our Department of Public Safety accounted for in all of these different structural considerations. So I want to lay it out there. I think what council now has in their court for this evening is the ability to motion to make an appointment to our Director of Public Safety position if they so chose. That's one thing. What I would ask is any appointment that's considered, that we consider that conditional. So if you are going to appoint a Director of Public Safety this evening, that it's conditional upon the execution of a contract, number one. And number two, that is done effective January 1st. The importance of that is we must make sure that we review the contract considerations and that we have some time to do that, and then roll into the 2025 calendar year with a path, assuming that conditions are met. The second thing that I would like to council to consider is that along the different structural options, beyond the appointment of a Director of Public Safety, if you so chose, all the other promotional considerations or structural considerations, I think it's imperative that we also have time to make sure that we get those promotions handled correctly, and that we have the right financial input on that process. So I would ask that if you're going to make a motion, consider the Director of Public Safety motion if you so choose. And then as far as the other elements of that structural proposal, that we allow us direction on those, but that we have some time over the coming weeks to finalize those so they could be effective in the new year. But at least it would give the assurance to our Department of Public Safety as to what council's direction is and how that relates to the shifts that they need to schedule. So with that being said, I'll stop there, open it up for any council perspective or discussion, and again, the appointment would be up to a council motion if they so chose.
I would like to make a motion for option 1.
Second that.
Okay, so we have a motion for option 1 and seconded by Valentine. And to be clear, then, per what I read, that would be appointing the Director of Public Safety to be Bullard.
Yes.
That would come with the other structural considerations that I read earlier, for which we would need to signal to our Department of Public Safety members, but work on the contracts or any promotional considerations accordingly. So let's be clear on that motion. So your motion is option 1, which would be to appoint our new Director of Public Safety, Bullard, effective January 1st, conditional to the execution of his contract.
Yes.
Is that your motion?
Yeah.
And that was seconded by Valentine. Council, any discussion?
My question would be is if we are able to get a contract in place sooner, would the appointment take place effective when the contract was executed, if we're able to get it done sooner than the 1st, or would it be waiting for the 1st?
I'm open to discussion on that. What are you thinking?
I'm just thinking if it's not a long drawn out process, and maybe our city attorney can chime in if you foresee it to draft a contract and give Director Bullard the opportunity to review it. Is that something that can happen in a week's time? Because I think the 16th would be the next meeting that we have, and then we don't have another meeting until after the 1st of the year. So it seems like it would be a little bit of an urgency if the appointment takes place on the 1st, that we have the ability to get a approved contract in place by our next meeting a week from today.
Yeah, that's an accurate assumption. I would say this, we could probably get a contract in front of whomever the council decides to appoint as DPS head tonight. Or not, we won't get in front of them tonight. My statement is whoever they decide to appoint tonight. We'll get a contract probably the next couple of days to them. The concern would be is if they want to make changes or if there's back and forth, no guarantees it will be, ready for approval by next council meeting, which is a week from today. That said, you could still make the appointment effective the 1st with the condition it's subject to a final contract being agreed upon by both parties. So if he could take the role the 1st, and for some reason, if terms can't be reached on the contract, then we would just, it would get rescinded at that point. So, but yes, we could try our best to get it done within a week, but I don't know what the other party's gonna do or what changes they may have, and council may say, no, we can't agree to those changes at the next meeting, and so I don't wanna commit to saying yes without knowing all the variables.
Right, and so the second part of that would be, would the appointment be, no later than the 1st of January?
It'd be up to you guys, however
Okay.
you wanna do it.
And so, because if we are able to execute contract terms by December 16th, is there any value in delaying it to the 1st at that stage?
I don't see any value in that, so I think if council wants to revise their motion, you could consider that, which is up to January 1st, right, versus your language of effective January 1st. Would that would solve that
I
issue?
think that satisfies that
Yeah,
part
I
of
could
my
update
question.
that, yeah.
So Councilwoman Wood, you would update your motion to have that language up to added, so basically effective January 1st, it's effective up to January 1st, so that it gives us a window where it might be December 16th or another day prior to that to be determined, for which we have that flexibility in the
I
motion.
would word it, effective January 1st or sooner.
Or sooner. Great.
I agree.
Councilman Wood, do you support that
Yes.
proposed language?
Yes.
Councilman Valentine, do you? Okay, so we have a second on the revised language. Any further discussion for council? Will Katie please call roll?
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Motion carried. Congratulations. We're incredibly grateful for your service to our community and your continued capacity in that role, and look forward to working with you on the contract in line with council.
Ditto.
With that being said, just to close out there, we obviously want to make sure that we had provided directive to our Department of Public Safety and our new appointed Director of Public Safety. And with that, we had listed a couple other pieces to that equation, which we will work with you and the department on to make sure that we get all the pieces in place to enter 2025 successful. Thank you. With that, that will conclude my report, and I would like to now turn our agenda to the council reports. For the council reports, I'd like to lead with Councilman Valentine and our Recreation Commission.
I have no real report, but I want to thank everybody who participated in December 7th parade and Christmas lighting, and our next meeting is January 7th. That's my report.
Thank you, Councilman Valentine. Any questions for Councilman Valentine? Since Councilwoman Cosmore, we had received and filed the resignation and obviously spoke about that. There is a ADW, Alliance of Downriver Watershed, and 33rd District Court appointment for Councilwoman Cosmore. Council, we're going to assemble some information for you all. I know some parties have already expressed some level of interest in some of those appointments. So on our next meeting, we'll put in your packet a little more information around considering those appointments, as well as what those appointments would entail. But with that being said, we do have one item under that report that should be considered. That item is to a resolution to approve our 33rd Judicial District Court budget for the period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. So we'll be looking for a motion to approve this resolution.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Valentine. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Cox. Any discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Valentine.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes. Motion carried. This time I'd like to turn it over to Councilwoman Wood for Beautification Commission and Historical Museum.
Okay, very simple. Winter planters have been done. We'd like to thank the DPW for all their help with all the Christmas decorations they put out for us. There is no meeting in January. And that takes us to our meeting in February, which is time to order the flowers. So we're happy we have a water vehicle, and hopefully we get a water tank put on it by then.
Amazing.
For museum, will be open January 5th from 2 to 4, and that's all I have.
Fantastic, thank you. Any questions or comments for Councilwoman Wood? All right, Councilman Cox, Planning Commission and DDA.
No report?
Any questions for Councilman Cox? Councilman McNabb, Waterways.
Yeah, I have some news. We are heading in the right direction for our weed harvester. It sounds like it's going to be getting ordered here within this month, we hope. There's some changes getting made, but that's all I have to report at this time.
Awesome. I'm grateful for all the work you've done on pushing the waterways / weed harvester acquisition, so thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Councilman Molnar.
My only report is that it's a plenty of notice, save the date. It's the first Saturday in April. We'll be having a tiller steer aluminum boat race, and Tim Garrett and I are going to pick some of the details and get something programmed, but it'll be a opening of the season for the boating season, and save the date, tiller steer aluminum boat race, the first Saturday in April. We'll pick what organization we're raising funds for down the road, but that's something that should be fun and exciting. I do have one other thing, and that was that Officer Seifert hosted a unified basketball game that three of us, two of us played in, and had just a wonderful time. And for those that don't know much about the unified program, our school resource officer, Brandon Seifert, puts together an annual basketball game for a unified program at Carlson schools, and it is the size of the program ebbs and flows with the students and their ages, but it is really unified says it all, and then it really brings people together of all different walks of life, and the opportunity to just share positive energy. And we had Brandon, again, Seifert puts this program together. He puts a tremendous amount of time and energy and evidently care and passion. His family supports him in it and helps John Ames, who's a Wyandotte police officer, and his wife works at the school district. She puts a ton of energy into it. And you could tell the amount of, Mr. Mayor, you and I were there, and and the Fontes were there to support us. It was absolutely tremendous what he did for this for the school and the community, and grateful that he invited us to participate and be part of it. And for those that were there, I'm sure you could feel the positive energy and how that emanates from the schools into our community. I think it was pretty cool. So that's all I got.
Yeah, incredible experience. Agreed on all fronts. Any questions for Councilman Molnar? All right, that will close our council reports. We'll turn over to our Parks and Recreation Director, Goris, for which there's no report to share this evening. So I will turn it over to our city attorney.
No report.
No report from our city attorney, which will turn it over to our city administrator, Blackburn.
First thing I have on the agenda is renewal for WCA assessing. This is a 3-year extension on their contract from January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2027. As it stands right now, nobody within the City Hall offices or residents, nobody seems to have any complaints with the services that they are delivering. So I think this is a good extension right now, because their contract does expire December 31st of this year.
Great, so we have a contract expiration on December 31st. Council, the motion to consider this 3-year agreement in your packet is in front of you, or any other discussion that needs to take place? know one discussion, since there's silence, one discussion, go ahead.
What services are they assessing?
They evaluate houses, businesses. Your tax bill is depending upon the assessors doing their job assessing the property. When there's a home sold and it's uncapped, when a new house is built, it gets assessed. If somebody puts a second floor on their house, the assessor has to come out and reassess the property values of that house. And they are also, because the way it stands is, the city can raise tax rates, they're capped. It's either the rate of inflation or 5%, whichever one is less. So that's where the assessor does. The assessor puts all that together, so the tax bills are sent out, so that when we do our budget, we know how much money we have to work with, because the assessor did their job in figuring out property values and housing values and business values, and put all that so we know how much money we can budget for.
And I'll throw in a couple of thoughts that I think are very important to consider. One is, from the knowledge that I was received, we've had this company since 2009. Is that the correct statement? We've had it since 2009. The second discussion we had at the department head meeting when this came up was, we recognize that the contract expires, and we need to consider our assessing services. But we discussed, we haven't RFP'd this in quite some time from what we understand. So while we are very pleased with the service we're getting, and the management there has been very responsive to our needs, they put in a new representative as an example in City Hall that seemingly is an increase in execution and kind of culture fit with the staff. We also recognize that there hasn't been an RFP for this work, at least under this administration, and probably for quite some time. So with that, we said, okay, then the third one, obvious question was, how does this current proposal relate to existing financials, meaning with them? And then the last piece was, all of that being considered, recognizing the deadline, was there any appetite for an extension in our current agreement as we pursue an RFP process? So I just want everybody to have that collective set of information that was discussed amongst the department head meeting, where we review, obviously with council and department heads, agenda topics and considerations.
All right, I'll make a motion that go ahead.
I have a couple questions. What's the urgency timeframe we're under as if we were to apply an extension? What's the relevance of an emergency, I guess, is my question.
Any perspective?
Because I would push that we go out for proposal for this item of work. If we haven't bid it in a long time, and we've been re-upping a contract since 2009, I think it's in our best interest to see what the competitive market is on that. So that's where I'd be at.
Mayor, may I say something?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was in that department head meeting, and I agree with Councilman Cox that I think we all agreed that, given the shortness of time, we needed to proceed, but it doesn't mean that we would pass up going out for proposal. I was just talking to our finance director. This represents about a 5% increase, right? And I think the past, if I'm correct, Amy, was 4%. So those are figures you're going to have to realize, and it's up to council to direct our city administrator if you want to move forward with a proposal. Because the things that we laid out there in that discussion was, consideration for holding the contract at the same level without an increase. But as you know, that everybody knows, property taxes are one of our revenue streams here. It's extremely important. But so is getting the right cost to the city to perform this service. So that lays in your hands on how you want to go. Amy and I wanted to give you the figures. This represents a 5% increase, up from 4% last year.
Well, do we need to extend this for a 3-year period of time, or can the extension happen less than that while we then pursue the RFP process?
My recommendation would be just that, which is extension to allow RFP process to prevail while continuing our active agreement for the sake of continuity and our needs there.
Can I make a recommendation?
Yeah, please.
I would advise city administrator to go back to them, because I haven't seen this yet, and ask them if they're willing to do a month-to-month at this point, and then make this an agenda item for next council meeting in a week, because then you guys can make a more informed decision. Because if they can't do month-to-month, they're set to expire at January 1st of 2025.
Precisely.
So I'd see if they would be willing to do month-to-month at this point. And then that would allow you guys to go out with the RFP process and not feel rushed, because with the holidays approaching, I don't know if you're gonna really get many proposals back within a, 15-day period.
I think that's a very reasonable position.
I make that motion for postponement till next meeting.
The other thing I'd say, I would consider this a part of a negotiation, so I think it would give Mike the luxury of maybe even coming back to you, if we're on a month-to-month, to come back to you and say, if they hold their prices, it's something that council could entertain to renew the contract at the same pricing, so I think it's on the right track here.
There could be various options by you reaching out and requesting that month-to-month, so, yes.
Seem quite responsive. We have a motion to reconvene this item, if I heard correctly, on the next meeting, December 16th. I don't know.
After further information is received.
Is there a second for that motion?
Second, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Second by Molnar. Any further discussion? Mike, does that sound like a good path for you?
Yep.
Great. Katie, please call roll.
Wood,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
McNabb. Yes. Mulner.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Motion carried. Mike, thank you. Back to you.
The next thing on the agenda is to go out for RFQs for the West Jefferson Water Main Project. We do have a grant from that, from the USDA. Our current engineering firm that we're using does not, has not done USDA grants before. So I'll be looking for specific engineering firms that have done USDA grants, because there's more paperwork involved with USDA. And I want to make sure that we get the best firm available that we can do for the project, because I'd like to start moving with this project not long after school gets out in June, because it will affect in front of the high school and middle school. So I'm going to be setting up this project, hopefully to start right at the end of June.
I'll make a motion to authorize the RFQ for the West Jefferson Water Main Project.
Motion by Cox, second by McNabb. Very excited about this work as it relates to our strategic priorities.
Mayor,
Further discussion?
may I add to the discussion here?
Absolutely.
Michael, do you know how much the grant is worth? I thought in the past it was $1 million.
It's $1 million.
Is it require participation on our part?
Yes, the estimated cost of the project when it was applied for was 1.35 million. So the city would have to pony up about $350,000.
Is the grant just for the water main and then the engineering is on us?
Yeah, no, it's all
Combined?
inclusive.
Yep.
Okay. So it's important we get the right pricing on this.
Yes.
Very, very important. So, okay, thank you, Michael.
Yep.
Do we have a template for the RFQ, or do you have something in your,
Not yet. I want to get it approved so I can start working on it.
okay. Okay.
Very excited about this work. Thank you, Mike. Any further discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Cox,
Yes.
McNabb. Yes. Mulner.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Motion carried. Mike, back to you.
Right. Last thing I got on the agenda is a new laptop for the city administrator. This was previously, before I had started, already budgeted for in this current budget. What I'm looking for is a Microsoft Surface Pro. It's something I've used in the past. Stands as stands as a laptop I can use in my office, but I can also take it out in the field with me. And it can also be used as a tablet, so as I'm in the field, I can take pictures of things that while I'm out there and bring it back to my office and be able to use everything on one device instead of taking my phone and taking pictures and doing this and doing that and have to email myself all that stuff. Everything can be done from that one source.
Mike, would you be able to load your GSI for the water main and that on there?
Yes.
It would have that
I already
capacity?
have GIS on my computer now, so it would be on that laptop, so when I'm out in the field, I have it readily available.
What's the security measures on when you dispose of the computer server you got now? Is that something that we're going to turn over to IT?
IT should, when they transfer everything over, what they should be doing is taking out my hard drive after everything's taken and getting it shredded.
Okay, because I have some recommendations we can talk later on, I think, with the next step of that server, since we're in a lot of litigation now, that we'd want to be careful with it. And there's extraction processes that our IT people can do for deletions and so on and so forth that are
They
going to
can
be
even
necessary.
take the hard drive off and hard drive out and just quarantine it for the time being too.
Okay, just keep that in mind.
It's a good point, Treasurer Fonte, and yeah, you should preserve that hard drive and they can hold on to it.
Absolutely. Council motion would be in your court to approve a quote for a new computer for our city administrator Blackburn.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by McNabb. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Any further discussion? Katie, please call roll.
McNabb.
Yes.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
Motion carried. Anything else from you, City Administrator Blackburn?
That is it. Oh, I do want to make one mention. I see that we've had a lot of participation this past weekend. In the hallway of City Hall, there are boxes for Toys for Tots. I have heard Gibraltar in the past has been very giving. Let's fill those boxes up and have them overflowing, so when they come and pick them up, kids there that don't have as much as other people can get something good for Christmas.
Well said. Thank you. Any questions for City Administrator Blackburn? Clerk Tomasic.
No report.
Any questions for Clerk Tomasic? Treasurer Fonte.
No report, Mayor.
Any questions for Treasurer Fonte? Finance Director McEwen.
My only thing on the agenda is a request for clarification. We're finding like a lot of contract language is kind of ambiguous, and I feel like the best way to handle this is to bring it to council and have it put in front of your eyes and get the clarification so that we can clean up this language and make sure that future people don't have the same questions that we do. I attached to the packet the language that was approved for the fire payroll. And then in it, it says officers are paid in December and June payroll. And then it says the amount per year. But is that just going to be paid in December for the full amount? Or are we splitting it up for payment in December and June? I just wanted clarification on how everyone wanted to handle it. I think it could be handled like split up between the two, just like the training coordinator's stipend is, where it says paid $250 in June and paid $250 in December. I believe the fire payroll that will come up later has it paid in full in December, though. So I just want to find out your guys' recommendation, clarification, how you wish to handle this, and then we can clean up the language on the document as well.
Mayor, I don't know what the structure, once council looks at that, but if it's approved by motion or resolution, it should be memorialized somewhere so we don't run into this situation where
Agreed.
we can't find historical.
Well, I think agreed, 100%. To Amy's point, right, if you look at the training, as far as it's a total dollar amount of 500, but split 250 and 250, right? I would run under the assumption that the same was intended by the first officer pay description. But it's up to council, and obviously council should consider this in context of also the payroll later in discussion. Before we get to any further discussion, does our Director of Public Safety or Acting Deputy Chief have any perspective on this matter that council should be aware of?
I do not.
Okay.
I think we all kind of had the same question.
Okay. So the total dollar amount remains the same. It's a matter of where we calendarize it, is the short
Yes.
synopsis here. So,
Make a motion.
Great.
To, 2 times are listed December and June, so split the payments based on those 2 applications, and on we go.
I tend to agree with that logic. There's a motion. Is there a second for that motion?
Second.
Second by Molnar. Any further discussion? Katie, please call roll.
McNabb.
Yes.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
Excuse me.
So the motion is carried. We will make sure there's a clear documentation that, as the language seemingly was intended to do, that these dollar amounts, total amount is split in half and calendarized accordingly.
Yeah, I just figured like the best thing to do is to just get clarification from council to make sure that we do it as intended.
We greatly appreciate that.
And that is actually all I had on the agenda.
Great. Any questions for Amy? Next, we will turn it over to what says interim, but effective pending conditional contract, our Director of Public Safety, Ballard. Floor is yours.
Mr. Mayor and Council, I appreciate and gladly accept this opportunity, being appointed the Director of Public Safety pending contract language. I'll embrace this position. I look forward to serving the city of Gibraltar. I've been here 18 years and 6 months. And look forward to another 6, 7, 8,
10, 12.
10, 12. Since the last meeting, the police department responded to 105 calls for service, 14 incident reports, 2 arrests, 3 traffic citations, 2 juvenile school resource officer investigations, and 5 detective bureau investigations. Upcoming events, I enrolled Officer Mike Lezat to the DeWolf and Associates Field Training Officer Program. The training is going to be utilized towards the hiring of a new officer. Typically for a new officer, the FTO program will last 4 months. Officer Lezat will be in the training from the 9th through the 13th of December. Upcoming news, a traffic study has begun on Adams Street between Wright Street and the south end of Adams and Bayview. The traffic study will be conducted southbound for 2 weeks and northbound for 2 weeks. In other news, I did email the DCC requesting information on a grant and on the hire of a new police officer, or the grant could be utilized towards training of the officer. But come to find out, the officer has to be hired first to utilize this grant. I'm still reaching out to the DCC as well as local police academies. I also posted for the position of midnight dispatcher on social media platforms. We currently are down 4 dispatchers, and 1 will be retiring the end of this month. Also included in my report is the fire report, ordinance officer's report, records clerk report, the Carfax report, the all-traffic speed study report. We also conducted another study on Adam Street. That's included in my report. And I'd like to say thank you to Officer Aldani. I kind of turned the reins of the all-traffic solutions sign off to him, and he's been doing a good job with his reports. I do have 1 action item. Prior to the action item, I'd just like to discuss with council, obviously, the mayor forwarded information on possible promotions of the officers, 1 sergeant to a lieutenant, and 1 sergeant to a detective sergeant, and then 1 officer to a sergeant. Obviously, per the COAM and POAM unions, police unions, I guess, a timeline, or if we can discuss this, when you would like to promote them with the vacant positions.
Yeah, and council, this, I'll refer you, our clerk had forwarded you the email description of promotion considerations and supporting information accordingly. So are we in a position to signal any answer to that question? Or if not, we can make sure that answer is provided by our 16th meeting next week, if that is reasonable for the department.
Yes, that's reasonable.
That would be my recommendation to council, unless there's any initial reactions.
For clarification, the question was, when do the promotions take effect? And the response is, give us time internally to digest it, give a response on the 16th.
Correct, yeah, we signaled the
That's
option
correct.
one to, yeah, exactly. So to come back with more guidance on the 16th.
Understood, thank you.
Thank you. I do have one, I'm sorry, I'm going to say something. I do have one action item. Installation of no parking signs. Asking for council approval. A traffic study was conducted, and I am requesting the installation of no parking signs, 4 in total. The 2 no parking signs would be on the city easement of the corner of Middle Gibraltar Road, and 2 no parking signs on the city easement on North Gibraltar Road in front of 13500 Middle Gibraltar Road. This would be on the north and west side of the establishment, and it's indicated in Exhibit A in your council packets. An explanation on the no parking signs is the Gibraltar Police Department, the Building Department, and City Administrator investigated parking issues in front of the establishment, and it was deemed city property. The city's position is that there's no parking shall be allowed due to underground utilities, no approach, there's an underground pump, above-ground pump, utility pole, and a fire hydrant. Michigan state law states that you're not to park 15 feet within a fire hydrant. So my proposed action is, or request is 4 no parking signs.
Motion be in council's order to support.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion and second, discussion? Katie, sorry, was there something?
Well, I just wanted to clarify, just to approve traffic control order.
Yes.
Number 24.
24-00001.
Right.
Councilman McNabb, we want to make sure that you are supportive of said traffic order. And Councilman Valentine, is somebody who seconded it? Yes? Okay, great. Any discussion on these items? I know we've talked with many individuals. We've also consulted, obviously planning and DDA is relevant on this broader topic here. But thank you for the proposal this evening. Any other discussion? Right, Katie, please call roll.
Mulner?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Motion carried.
This concludes my report. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes. Hi, Amy.
We need to approve the fire payroll.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if council wants to do it under Bruce or under Cindy, but we do need to approve that.
I think it'd be appropriate under your report.
I signed, obviously, the fire report and approved it last week, and that's also included in my packet.
Yep. And then I think we also want to have council's approval too. So,
Good point, because this is not included in the consent agenda. So I think that it either needs to, going forward, be included in the consent agenda.
Agreed.
But given that it hasn't been, we probably should make a separate approval for it.
Agreed. So council will make sure you're referencing the provided information in your packet. Moving forward, I do like that, where we could consider that as an item on the consent agenda, if you don't mind doing so.
I don't mind doing so. I just want to make sure that it is approved,
Great.
that everybody has reviewed it, so.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Agreed. Thank you, Amy.
For me, this is going to take a minute to try and wrap my head around it. I don't think it'd take more than a minute, but I do want to, before we just, instead of rushing through it and voting, would like to take about a minute just to review this, to make sure I understand. It's the format of it. It's not one page, it's, several pages, and I want to make sure I grasp it, understand it briefly.
So council, yeah, please take some time to review the information that was provided in your packet, and we can look for a council motion accordingly if they so chose for approval. And then moving forward, we'll make sure that Amy can categorize that in the consent agenda for you.
So, I'm sorry, is the total fire and payroll and run salary, this is for the entire month of November, is that, I guess this question would be for Director Bullard or Acting Chief Simon. Is the total number for fire payroll, run and salary in the blue highlighted area, the $21,493.64, is that?
That's correct.
It's for the entire month of November?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
I think it would go down a little bit because of the clarification on the one item, if you guys motion with the adjustment based on that item.
Yeah,
So
the
it would go
motion.
down a little bit.
Okay, so this has not been executed yet?
No, we don't execute fire payroll until it has been approved by council. That's why I kind of flagged it
Copy.
and pushed it.
So Amy, there's a proposed action coming up for $1,000 increase to the fire department budget. Is that something that needs to be discussed now while they have eyes on the payroll?
It could be,
So
that would apply,
So that everybody gets an understanding what the action's for.
yeah.
You want to take them through that?
That would be for the shifts, because we did put a limit on how much they could spend in the shifts column. And what the shifts is they sign up for a certain time period, and Cindy can correct me if I'm wrong. They sign up for a certain time period, and if we get a call during that time period, they are going to come up to the station and make that call. And I even correlated it to some of the times with the calls, and they are making the calls when they are signed up for the shifts.
Well said.
And we do have a limit to how much anybody can earn on that, because we have to make sure that they are not working more than part-time hours.
Thank you, Amy. I know this has been approved by our interim Director of Public Safety, soon-to-be Director of Public Safety, Acting Chief Simon. Anything you'd like to add as council is reviewing this?
I was gonna say, I can add something. I think part of it is that the reason why it's so high is there's a lot of stuff, if you go through the fire department wage scale, which was handily included because I had the question, there's a lot of stuff that gets paid in June and December, so those payrolls are probably gonna hit a little harder. I don't know if you want to add anything, Cindy, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that was perfect, thank you. The only other thing would just be the adjustment for the 3 officers that would be receiving the pay split in half instead of the full sum. So that
Exactly.
would just be included.
That would be on page 2 of the fire report.
Thank you.
It looks like there's some training this month. Is that what the, or is that the page 2, is that the $300 for each person there? I think this,
That'd be just slightly above that for the officer pay for sergeants.
I'm sorry, what's the one that's EMS and fire CEs? Continuing ed, is that,
Continuing education.
Correct.
okay, so okay, so that's so that's not something we would have every month, or that,
No, that's just the once a
Understood.
year payout.
got it, okay. I'm satisfied in my review.
So for clarity for my office, Deputy Chief, you're in charge of payroll now, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that your full function right now, payroll, assimilating or assembling payroll? Or is there a bigger responsibility here?
Yeah, her job description has more responsibilities, which were approved and shared by the council.
Okay. So, again, for me, the current fire chief does not do the payroll?
Correct.
Interesting.
And just to let everyone know, I also went through it. That's why the question came up and was brought up earlier.
Well, thank you, Amy, for going through it. Thank you for bringing the background on the split pay consideration. So council, a motion would be in your court to approve payroll pending the adjustment of that one-time payment to two-time payment
Yes.
and inclusion in the consent agenda moving forward. Looking for a motion from council.
Make the motion to approve.
Motion by Molnar. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Cox. Any further discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Abstain.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you, everybody, for that review and discussion. Any further items for Bullard? If not, Acting Chief Simon, we'll turn it over to you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Fire department activity is as follows. We had 22 calls for service. 20 of those were rescues, 2 were fires. We had 0 auto aids and 3 of which were mutual aids. As of the report that we submitted, we had 543 calls. We did have the one action item that was discussed of the additional 1,000 per month for EMS shift hours to increase our shift availability and EMS coverage.
So council motion would be in your order to approve the addition of $1,000 to the shift budget, which has been supported by our finance director as far as funds availability goes.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by McNabb. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Wood. Any further discussion on that topic? Katie, please call roll.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes. Motion carried. Back to you.
Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you so much. With that report being concluded, we do not have any unfinished business this evening. We do not have any new business, nor do we have any tabled and referred items. So we'd love to turn it back over to our public comment. If there's any members of public that would like to address council or department heads, please do so. Just make sure you state your name and your address, and make sure that light is still green.
Dennis Fragnon, 13626 Rose Street. Congratulations, taking the job. My only thought is, are you going to carry over any investigations that our old chief had, knowing that your job could be at risk? I mean, I hope you do a great job, but gosh, your livelihood is at the hand of 4 councilmen. You know, that's all I had to say, you know. I mean, especially knowing what happened. You know, I wish you the best of luck.
Mayor, do you mind if I address them? Is it improper?
No, please feel free to do so.
I understand your concern. You know, I was the treasurer appointed in June. There was no fear of the chief losing his job over an investigation. This was all done in front of the public at all our council meetings. I'd really urge you to look at that. The treasurer exposed this to council. It wasn't the fire chief. I'd really appreciate if you looked and actually studied those things, because it's important for you to have an informed decision. I think you can draw that from those videos, and I can direct you to that afterwards.
And I appreciate it. And I encourage, just so we not go back and forth with each other, I encourage you to have a
But,
discussion.
I mean, I'm not saying anything about a fire chief or anything. That has nothing to do with me. I was told we fired him because he wasn't an EMT.
He wasn't fired, so.
And I just ask that.
The council, or gonna put the mic on, I'm gonna advise council that we refrain about commenting of any circumstances around that with ongoing litigation.
Counsel,
so-
but the treasurers could tell you that he wasn't fired.
Thank you. Any further public comment this evening?
Nancy Garrett, 30624 Bayview. I just wanted to kind of piggyback off that note. I would just hope that we have someone now who could take action, immediate action. This job is definitely going to, come across where you have to make some tough decisions, and I'm hoping we can do that quickly and not let things drag out for months and months and months. And I wish you well and good luck.
Thank you.
Any further members of public wish to address council this evening? All right, that will close our public comments, and that will take us to looking for a motion to adjourn from council. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Molnar. Katie, please call roll.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Molnar.
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned. Hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Thank you.